What a frickin' awful day of PvP. I am done. I am done, honey.
I'm sorry, my little honey bun.
I think I'll just watch some TV or something. Well, hi, diddly ho. Have you ever had enemies? Yes. Have you ever wanted to slaughter said enemies? Yes, I really have. Well, now you can with the all-new Plague Punisher with a base damage of over 3.3k, stamina levels at 34k, and 1700 recovery. Oh, and you want to know what the best part is? What's the best part?
Are you talking to the TV again?
You throw a dead skeever on the ground and it hurtles its intestinal gunk at the enemy closest to you. Wait. What? Come on, you know you want to. That's not okay. You know you want to, Kevduit. How do you know my name? You know you want to. Welcome everybody to the latest strange Kevduit build. Here at Kevduit, I like to feed my cows Sour Patch Kids instead of grass to see what I can milk from them. In other words, I make interesting builds. Today we're going to be looking at a crazy new build involving that fancy dragon bone set, the Plague Slinger. To be honest, I've paired this setup with so many other sets just to try and make it work efficiently. But in the end, of course, I just settled with my favorite PvP set, Spriggans, and a monster set that fits nicely with everything, the cherry on top, so to speak, Bloodspawn. And now, to the build! Build. So, of course, we're gonna start off with the gear, glyphs, traits, all that useless garbage that hardly makes a build good. It's the potions that matter, am I right? Here, we're using a constant 5 pieces of Spriggans. So, 4 pieces of any kind of armor, including jewelry, you rich devil you, and then a one-hander of Spriggans. Personally, I prefer axe. And then a bow. Boom, 5 pieces. Then you're gonna want 4 pieces of Plague Slinger armor and a one-hander to be married to your Spriggans one-hander. I like having the sword here to complement. Then, on your fat noggin, you'll plop on a Bloodspawn heavy helm and heavy shoulders. This creates a 5-piece medium, 2-piece heavy build, which is what I personally prefer. For glyphing up this stamina-based damage build, it's actually quite complicated. Only people with an infinity IQ will understand what I'm about to say. All stamina on all armor, all weapon damage glyphs on all jewelry. Alright, moving on. For traits, try to get 5 divines and 2 impenetrable. It will give you lots of damage and at least a bit more critical resistance. On your jewelry, robust, enough said. Next up, weapon, glyphs, and traits. On your one-handers, your primary needs to be Nirnhoned. Probably Nirnhoned your Spriggan's weapon as it's more viable in multiple different builds. And then infuse your secondary. If your primary is not the Nirnhoned, just swap it over. You lose out on weapon damage if you don't. For glyphs, have one with the weapon damage glyph and the other with poison, preferably the infused weapon. For your bow, once again, Nirnhoned. If you can kill your enemy with a bow even before you pounce on them, all the better. I usually glyph this up with a weapon damage enchant, but poison also works quite well. For a quick sum up of the sets, Spriggans is your firepower. This is the reason why you're gonna hit so dang hard with tons of stamina, weapon damage, and then 3400 physical penetration. Bloodspawn helps with recovery and plays nicely with taking damage, as it has a 6% chance to gain you 14 ultimate, more lovely in caps, and increase your physical and spell resistance by 6200. Finally, Plague Slinger, the new kid on the block. This set provides a fair amount of weapon damage and more health. On top of that, it plays very well with Bloodspawn, as when you take damage, you will summon an entire spoiled skeever who will launch its poisonous innards at your foes every 15 seconds. Alright, next up, we've got one of the most important meals of the day.
Breakfast.
No, you little half-wits, dubious Camoran throne. The best meal ever. Craft like 1,000 of these. And now for potions. You're gonna be going with the essence of weapon power pots, increasing weapon damage, crit, and giving back stamina. These are crafted using Blessed Thistle, Dragon Thorn, and Water Hyacinth. This will maximize the beginning output of damage before a fight, or even during to keep up the damage and gain some stamina back. Now for passives, active skills, and the rotation. Literally, it's the same as every time for the passives. All assassinations for damage, shadow for sustain, and siphoning for more sustain and ultimate gain. Grab all of the dual wield passives, all the bow passives, all medium armor as you are running 5 pieces, and the first 3 passives under heavy, just to gain a bit for the 2 pieces of heavy you are wearing. Under Legend Domain, grab Improved Hiding, and under the Fighters Guild, get Slayer and Skilled Tracker, and Undaunted Medal under Undaunted. Finally, get all of the Assault passives as well for PvP boosts. I'm a red guard personally, just so I have a smorgasbord of stamina sustain. Now if you're a stamina race, you could technically run this build, but the two other more viable options would be either a Wood Elf or Khajiit for their passive towards stealth-based damage. Now onto the skills and rotation. My bars are lined up as so. For dual wield, you've got Shadowy Disguise, Ambush, Surprise Attack, Killer's Blade, Reaper's Mark, and finally Incapacitating Strike is the ultimate. For my bow bar, you've got Vigor, and you need this because it's your only hope of survival. Garbage Truck, also known as Lethal Arrow, Poison Injection, Shuffle, and Relentless Focus with Flawless Dawnbreaker is the ultimate. Dawnbreaker is there exclusively for the weapon damage perk for your initial bow strikes. Onward to slinging poison at your enemies. Usually I play this build from a distance, and don't worry, because you do not have Plague Slinger 5 pieces on at all times, so it won't proc randomly giving away your location. If you're going for a gank, always start crouched. Go Shuffle, Relentless Focus, Shadowy Disguise, and then pop your potion. Immediately launch a Lethal Arrow, and then Light Attack to proc your bow enchant, then a Poison Injection. If you feel like you have enough distance to pop off 2 Lethal Arrows, do it. It ends well, especially on enemies with less than 25k health. If that didn't screw up the enemy enough already, swap to dual wield and pounce on the fool like a hungry child with his happy meal. Now some people don't care whether or not the enemy knows you're watching them. In that case, use Mark before you bow spam them. But if you want to wait until they're already halfway to joining the choir invisible, then mark them right after you've punctured them with a few arrows. Once again, Shadowy into an ambush to gain 100% crit. Right after ambush, incap strike if it's up. If not, use Surprise Attack if they're above 25% health, or Killer's Blade if they're below 25% health to take advantage of that in power. The entire time you're fighting, your blood spawn will have the chance to generate ultimate, and your skeever is going to be slinging poison at your foe. Always remember to use Shadowy to give yourself a couple of seconds to recover, and then go back in for the kill. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoy spamming Cyrodiil with a set that took absolutely forever to combine with anything else for a proper PvP build, but there you go. But always remember, if you want to strike your enemies for over 100,000 poison damage in 1 second, remember to...